So congratulations, your first major solo album since 2007.
I know, it's been a long time.
So why was now the right time to release this album?
Well, I was on the road with Garth for about 4 years, and we were gone pretty solid, and I have a cooking show, so when I'm not on the road, I'm filming the show. And I just hadn't made a record in a while, just kind of kept going to the back burner, and it's what I do, and music is what feeds my soul. So when the tour ended in 2017 in December, I said 2018 I'm going to make music, and so I had been wanting to make this standards record for 20 years, and I thought this is the time to do it. And then I also have been working on a country record, so there's going to be 2 Trisha records this year. So the first one is out, and it's the Frank Sinatra Let's Be Frank. So I love standards, and I've always wanted to do it, so here we are.
I wouldn't necessarily think of a Frank Sinatra standards album from a country star.
Right.
Why Frank?
Well, my mom, who was born in '37, she loved this music, and so for me as a kid, that was a memory of my sister and I watching these old movies with her and learning these songs, and I just always loved them. I mean, they're so well written. It's called the Great American Songbook for a reason. And a few years ago, I was invited to sing for a 100th birthday celebration the Grammys did for Sinatra, honoring his memory, and I sang "I'll Be Seeing You," and Don was the musical director, and when I came off stage, we were talking, and he's like, "You ever thought about doing a record of this?" And I'm like, "I think about it all the time," and that was really the catalyst. And then to focus all these songs, like, let's do a Frank record, because who's cooler than that, you know? And so it kind of gave it a focus.
And you recorded this whole thing in 4 days.
We did.
And
Yeah.
did I see that you actually used his microphone?
I did. You'd think it would be in the Smithsonian, you
Yeah.
know, but it's a working studio. You know, Capitol, everybody recorded there. Keely Smith, Judy Garland, Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra. So you go into this room, and it's the room. You can see photographs of them all on the walls recording in this very room. And the microphone is hanging there. It's Frank's microphone. Even the bar stool, they're like, "Yeah, you can sit on that." Like, that's Frank's. I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" So I took pictures of everything. Of course, I touched everything. It's like it created a vibe, and then a 55-piece orchestra. So it was just amazing. It was so much fun.
Did you feel like his spirit was there, kind of being channeled through you?
I felt the blessing of Frank mainly through there were several musicians. Our engineer, Al Schmidt, worked with Sinatra. Some of the guys in the band had worked with Sinatra. And when I got their blessing, then I felt like, okay, if they think, because they knew Frank, so if they think it's cool, then Frank must think it's cool.
It's Frank approved
Yes,
by default.
Exactly, by default.
And what about that 55-person orchestra?
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people with technology today don't do everything live because it's expensive to do that. But I wouldn't have had it any other way. I mean, I record live in Nashville with a 5-piece band, and the vocals that we do are generally the vocals we keep because there's an energy when the band is there that you don't get once they've gone home. And this was the same thing. It was just 55 pieces. But if you make a mistake, you know, these are intricate arrangements. They're not easy to sing. And I didn't want to be the one who missed the entrance and have 55 people have to start over. So I was nervous. I wanted to be prepared. And they made me feel like I belonged there the minute I walked in. So it was great.
You don't want 55 groans all at once.
Totally. Oh, we got to do that again. Yes, done with that.
And you also wrote a song together with Garth.
I did, and it was not intentional. It wasn't written for the project. It was written. I write a song about a song every 4 or 5 years. I don't write all the time like he does. But I had this song title in my head that made me think of us. It's called "For the First Time I'm in Love for the Last Time." And I came in and said, "I just have this title. I don't know what to do with it." And he started singing this melody, and it felt like a throwback. So this was before this project was underway. And we finished the song and thought, I don't know where it belongs. It's just different. It's either in a Broadway show someday, or it's that kind of song. So he encouraged me to play it for Don Was, and Don said, "Oh, we're doing it. It fits. We're doing it." So I was nervous about it. I didn't say, "Oh, you know, Rodgers and Hammerstein were great, but let me show you how a song's written." We didn't do that. It just seemed to fit, and it worked, and I'm honored to have it on the record.
Tell me about your partnership with Garth, because I've observed you multiple times together, and there's just this magic. And hearing you talk about each other, how do you make it work after all these years?
I think one of the things is we genuinely enjoy each other's company. We laugh a lot. We were friends first, and there's that bedrock that you lay, that a lot of times in a relationship you're down the road when you go, we didn't really get to know each other that well before we maybe got married. I don't know. I'm not saying I did it, but maybe I did. But we knew each other so well, and so there's that foundation there all the time, which is good. And we when we got married 13 years ago, we made a decision not to be together, to be apart. And so we really are together most of the time. I mean, we spend very few nights apart, and we enjoy being together. And I think that's that's it. We're both in careers that are very me focused, because that's what you have to do when you're an artist. So as a couple, you can't be me focused, and I think both of us recognize that. So when we're home, it's about the other person, and if you take care of your partner, then you're going to be fine.
So what do you each do for each other at home?
He is much more thoughtful and romantic than me. So I will have to say he's winning the game. He could have to tell you what I do for him, but what he does for me is he just kind of makes sure that I have the best day. He knows that I like to get up in the morning and have coffee and read a book and have my dogs at my feet for a little bit before I start my day. He likes to wake up and he's rolling like a puppy, you know, but I gotta ease into my day. So he gets up early, he makes my coffee. He doesn't drink coffee, but he makes great coffee, makes it every day.
That's adorable.
And that's a very sweet thing to do, and gives me that time. If he's just itching to go do something, we have a farm, he'll go get on a tractor or something, so that he likes that, so he enjoys that while I get my coffee and have my read for a little bit, you know. And so it's kind of noticing what the other one likes to do and needs to do, and you don't always get to do your favorite thing, but if you do your job right, they never know it's not your favorite thing.
So what do you do for him?
Some of it I can't really go into, but
Why not? Who's listening? It's between us. Come on, Georgia.
Right. I mean, he's a huge sports fan, and I actually love sports too. But we really, when we first started seeing each other, it was like he didn't really watch TV other than. I don't know how he does it, because he doesn't really watch TV, but he knows about every show. I'm like, so maybe he's doing some closet watching while I don't know. But he loves sports, so it's always on sports. And I like sports, but after a while, you know, so it'll be like, I'm really excited about this game. I'm like, so am I, and I'll cook, and we'll have a party, and everybody come over and watch sports, you know. But like I said, I'm struggling because he's really much more thoughtful than me. It's really about me. He really just takes care of me. That's the secret of our happiness. He does whatever I want.
I love it. You listening?
That's it.
And now that's Valentine's Day. What do you guys do to celebrate? Obviously, this year's going to be a little different.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be here this year, but we'll be together, and we are, you know, I said this earlier today, I never thought I'd be that person who's like, every day's Valentine's Day with him. I used to hate people like that because they're just too sappy, but now I'm that person. Because we just really try to take care of each other every day, you know, so it's another day to try to figure out a way to tell your person that you love them.
Speaking of cooking, we all know you for your cooking show, for your products at Williams-Sonoma. How would you compare the cooking process to the recording process?
There's a lot of things that are similar. Like, there is a very ego-driven, I want you to like my food. And so if you can't speak because it's so good, or you say yum, or whatever your sounds are that you make, then that's applause. So it's very much like, it's very self-serving. But it's also something that for me is just really natural, and it relaxes me. Cooking for me is very therapeutic, and so is music. So they're very similar in that way.
What is on your playlist right now?
Well, I'm listening to a lot of me right now because I'm working on a country record too, so I'm trying to figure out what order the songs are going to go in for the country release in the fall. But I have a very eclectic taste in music, so it'll be everything from a lot of Beyonce. There's a lot of Beyonce on my list. I do Zumba, so I learn songs that I wouldn't necessarily know otherwise, you know, and then I go back and then I find them and look them up. So I probably, you know, when I watched the Grammys the other night, I'm like, oh yeah, I know Cardi B. I do Zumba to that song.
Oh,
you know,
I
so,
love that.
So it's a variety of that. And then with the Sinatra project, I'm listening to a lot of Rosemary Clooney, a lot of Dean Martin, a lot of Lena Horne. So it just kind of goes in cycles. A lot of Prince. I'm a huge Prince fan.
So you discover music through Zumba?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I just totally discovered Pitbull through Zumba, and I love him.
I love that. I love that. We are here at the Rainbow Room. Why is this the perfect place for you to introduce all of your new music?
Well, you know, we were trying to think of the most frank place in New York we could do this, and I've been here one time and the time I was here, Tony Bennett was here, so I feel like this is just the right place to introduce the music from an era that should be recognized, and this place is historic, so we're here.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you
Have
so
fun
much.
Here. Thank you.
Thank you.